Good morning, Tramel Raggs. Welcome on VH Berries.
How's it going, man? Thanks for having me on.
I'm doing great. How about you today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Just trying to stay busy. Obviously, COVID has slowed things down dramatically, so you have to find different ways to kind of stay busy and entertain yourself. But all things considered, I'm doing pretty well.
So you are one of the most brilliant specialists in sports. In terms of journalism, your impact is tall, but are you tall enough to slam dunk?
I don't know if I would say I'm the most impactful in sports journalism, but I appreciate the kind words. I'm not tall enough to dunk, man. I'm about 5'7". I can get up there, but I can't quite dunk. I'm close though. I'm gonna keep working on that. That's my quarantine goal.
I'm challenging you. I'm 5'11". We should definitely have a basketball duel one day.
All right, man, set it up. I'll definitely. I'm gonna bring my A game though, so you better be ready to play.
Where did these passions for sports comes from? Tell me about your early life.
For sure, man. Just growing up, I grew up in Chicago, just a lot of kids, in the neighborhood. You're always outside. It wasn't like nowadays where kind of a lot of kids usually spend most of their time playing video games. Like if you wanted to have fun, you wanted to get out of the house. 'Cause if you're in the house, you have to do chores, you have to, clean the dishes, vacuum, all that stuff. But if you're out of the house, you go with your friends, you're riding your bikes, you're playing basketball every day, playing football. So it really just came from that, every single day, just waking up, having a good time with my friends. You love basketball. And then obviously, growing up in Chicago, the Bulls they were great at that, kind of in that early, when I was like 4, 5, 6, Michael Jordan was doing his thing. So obviously, watching games every Sunday and throughout the week with my dad, those were moments that I don't forget, watching Michael Jordan win, NBA finals, stuff like that. And then, watching the Bears, that was awesome. Seeing the Bears in the NFL go to the playoffs a couple times, those defense that they had. So it was always just, it was always around me. It's something that I was always very aware of. And, it's just something that I really love. You play sports, you just feel like anything's possible. And as a kid, everyone obviously wants to be a professional athlete. So it was just really fun for me, honestly. And, just kind of over time, it just kind of grew stronger and stronger and stronger. Like the better I got and the bigger I got. So that's kind of my sports, I guess how I got into sports.
Tramel Raggs, you just mentioned it. You lived in the dozens American states, moving around a lot, a bit like basketball teams that travels from stadium to stadiums. I'm trying to connect the dots.
Yeah, my dad's job kind of took us all over the place. I lived in, I think it was 10 actually. So I was born in North Carolina, lived in Indiana, Maryland, Illinois, North Dakota, Missouri, Virginia, DC, obviously. There's a couple other ones, like off the top of my head, I'm just not thinking of them. But yeah, just had a lot of opportunities. Look at my dad's job, kind of moving him state to state. Got, so many opportunities as far as getting to meet new people, and just see different things, which I think was really beneficial. I think it, exposed me to a lot of different cultures. And then athletically, just getting to, see different talent levels. Like you kind of face, players, in Chicago or North Dakota, and it's different, the things that they're good at and what they're not good at. So I think it just kind of helps you kind of develop, and you learn a lot about yourself and you learn a lot about other people, and you kind of have to, that restarting process can be tough for some people, but for me, I think it's helped me, with being a journalist where I can be more sympathetic to the people that I'm talking to, and I can, just kind of be understanding and kind of get it. Like, I know different upbringings, and so I can relate to people easier than maybe the normal person could that just lived in one place. And I think it's kind of helped me out in life a lot. So I really, I think there's a lot of positives to moving around a lot. I know some people would see it as negatives, like you always have to move and, leaving your friends, stuff like that. But I feel like moving around so much growing up really helped me, get where I am today.
Absolutely. The fact to reset everything, new friends, new environment every time that you're moving can be tough sometimes.
For sure, yeah. When you're a kid, I think it's a lot easier than when you're an adult. Like, you're a kid, everyone wants to be your friend when you're the new kid. So it was, it's pretty easy. Obviously you leave your school and it stinks a little bit that you don't get to talk to your friends as much that you had been playing with that year before. But you kind of just the next year you have a whole bunch of new people and you kind of just get through it. In high school, I think it was a little bit tougher, just because you kind of have grown into who you are kind of as a person, and now it's tough. You have to kind of find that niche again when you get to the new school. But for the most part, especially the younger days, like, middle school and younger, it was pretty easy to make that transition.
And then your journey in journalism has begun on the Missouri Basketball Talk. So on December 2016, you made a Facebook Live replacing your friend Sam, who was sick that day.
Yeah. It was kind of I guess that was my moment where I really kind of gotta get going, Rock M Nation. Those guys are awesome. They gave me my big chance, honestly, in college. They kind of saw some things that I could do as far as my personality and just writing ability. And, the Facebook Lives really kind of took it to the next level, getting on camera. I was nervous. I'm sure if you watched them, I was not very good, honestly. I was just kind of rambling and just really uncomfortable. But, those opportunities that they gave me to kind of be the guy and to be, in front of the limelight and really just learning on the fly was something that I'll value forever. So, getting the opportunity back in 2016, like you said, was a huge opportunity, and it's really helped me to kind of learn about just how to be a better journalist.
And this leads me to the word experiences, because you have always been very committed. For instance, by being a paralegal in the US Army for 6 years, a staff writer, you just mentioned it, at Rock M Nations, commentator at Mediacom, and even a customer consultant at FedEx.
Yeah, it's just I had a lot of opportunities to do things. I wanted to kind of do different things at different times. So I think, when I was working at FedEx office, it's like a copy store. I don't know how familiar you are with the FedEx office as a copy store, but honestly, that was one of the best jobs I ever had. And I think people probably laugh at that and say like, what's this guy talking about? But, just getting to work with that group of people there was awesome. You got to create so many awesome things, like as far as, posters and printouts. It was a great environment. Just working with people, helping people kind of make those ideas come to be was a really awesome experience. Obviously being in the military was a really great experience being a paralegal. I got some opportunities to go overseas to Poland and Germany, and then even just doing some things as far as, serving in the United States, like going to different, situations it was something that, you value and you learn a lot from. So all those experiences, like you said, it kind of just, it makes you who you are, and it's an awesome experience. And I think that, every job I've ever had, I don't regret any of them. You know what I'm saying? Like they all kind of played a part in helping me become the man that I want to be. So.
Tramel Raggs, I'm very curious about this, US Army experience. How did you get into this?
Yeah, so, it was an opportunity. My dad was a Marine, when I was a kid, so kind of always was aware of the military lifestyle and kind of what that looked like. When I came out of high school, I wanted to go to the University of Missouri, and I thought that I didn't feel like I was ready, honestly. When I came out of high school, I didn't feel like I was really ready to go to, Missouri and be successful. So I deferred my admission there, and, I went to boot camp. I, got through all the training, and then I went to the military, and it was awesome. And then I went to school while I was also in the military, and that was just a great experience, I think. I just needed to grow up some, and I needed to kind of prove to myself that I could be on my own, because, growing up, my parents were really strict. They never really let us go. They never let us do sleepovers, stuff like that. So I was kind of nervous going into college. I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to be on my own and, to be in a space where I don't have my parents with me. So I kind of felt like that was a nice bridge gap to kind of go to boot camp and go to AIT training and just, get that opportunity just to be on my own, but in a kind of in a structured situation. And so I went to the military, joined the National Guard. It was really awesome. And, it was just something that, so many memories and so many lessons I learned. It's just about, adversity and what it means to really work hard. And, when people are depending on you, and just how to become a better leader and all those type of things. I think it really built up my confidence. I wouldn't say that I wasn't confident before that, but just going through those experiences, you feel like you can do anything kind of. And, I came out of it a better man. I don't know if everyone has that experience, but I came out of it feeling like I was just more confident and just ready to take on the world. So.
In definitive, it made you stronger. And I wonder, did your sisters and brother went through the same path in the army?
My little brother is in high school still, so he did not do that. My older sister actually did. She decided to join the military, and she kind of, I don't know her reasoning for joining, but it seemed like she enjoyed her time there. But yeah, it wasn't like I had asked her about it. It's just something that I felt like I needed to do just to get kind of prepared for that. And, it worked out for me.
And again, related to this word experiences, you played Monopoly for millennials in a video article. Instead of collecting 4 greenhouse for 1 red hotel, you are collecting experiences.
Yeah, so the posts, like, I don't know how familiar you are with it, but yeah, we do a lot of crazy videos, like especially the younger group of people at the Post, like Dave Jorgensen. He's really big he runs the TikTok account at the Washington Post, and we kind of have a good relationship. So like whenever he's making videos, he kind of brings me in, and he has this thing where he loves all these different versions of Monopoly. So he kind of brought me in on that, and it was kind of like making, like, poking fun kind of at millennials and saying that, instead of, saving our money or buying houses, we're out here buying trips to Hawaii and Japan and all these places instead of saving. It's about experiences more to this generation. And so it was kind of cool to just go through that game and just, kind of see how awesome it is.
And even before these very special videos, the first one you participated in was an hilarious video in which you were a referee who monitors the VAR in the World Cup.
Yeah, I've really been, since I came to the Post, I've been getting a lot of opportunities to work on my acting skills, which I did not expect coming into it, obviously. But yeah, we're doing the fun stuff, doing the World Cup, what's going on. And we thought, we want to make timely videos that are relevant to what's going on in the news then, and just kind of put like a funny spin on it. So VAR was a big thing that people were talking about. They're kind of annoyed, saying there's too many reviews. Some people say it wasn't enough. So we kind of did a little play on that, and I was the ref, and I kind of got some opportunities to blow my whistle and kind of be a part of that. So that was really fun.
And more precisely, what is the process behind it? Because at the end, in the credits, we can read that you didn't participated in the writing or the directing. You were just like a comedian.
Yeah, so a lot of times, like when I'm working with Dave, like it's a lot of his ideas. I mean, I try to, I put in ideas here and there, but really I let him do his thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm right. But he makes videos and he likes to have me in the videos. So I just, lend my, experiences and my limited acting abilities, in any way that I can to him. So, if he asks for some of the videos that we've made together, I've helped in the writing process or ideas and the creative process there. But in that one specifically, it was just me showing up, and he's kind of gave me a script and said, go off and do what you can with this. So that's definitely what I did.
And Tramel Raggs, thanks to this video, now we know that this is a very bad idea to bring the VAR outside of the stadium.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to see any VAR in the office. That would be awful. Literally, I'm not late to things, but sometimes I am a little bit late or fashionably late. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anybody reviewing this to see what time I'm actually getting to work. You know what I'm saying? I need to keep that bit of secrecy.
And right now, concerning your life in Washington, D.C., without VAR, you enjoy playing video games, and also to do, long walks around the city?
Yeah. Obviously with sports, it's kind of slowed down a bit with COVID. So just kind of having to find different ways to, stay busy, stay active. I think it's the best way to kind of get through a time like this. Obviously, no one has ever dealt with anything like this unless you're like maybe 100 and something years old. So it was a lot of new experiences to us, and just finding ways to kind of keep your brain active and not, just kind of become a potato in your house. So yeah, one thing I've always loved biking, but during the, coronavirus, I've really had an opportunity to just get into biking more. Like I'm going on long, like 40, 50 mile bike rides, and that's been awesome. Playing video games with my friends, just kind of a way to stay connected. Like we play a lot of NBA 2K together. And then, just going on walks. Like me and my buddy from college, he lives in DC as well, Danny. We kind of go around and we'll walk all night. Like we'll say, hey, we're going to go to this place, and we'll end up just talking about life and kind of what we're thinking. Cause it's kind of weird. Like you talk to these people and you just realize that you're all living the same experiences. And as we're going these 7-8 mile walks, like it's crazy. You kind of we're all thinking the same things, and it's kind of cool to just bounce those ideas off of people. So, those are the simple things that you do to just kind of keep it busy. Obviously you're watching movies on Netflix and stuff like that, but yeah, just trying to stay active, playing catch, playing basketball when you can, going biking, playing video games, kind of been my normal routine as far as quarantine is concerned.
And what does it represent to you to be in Washington, D.C.? Because it helps you to not being a potato, as you said.
Yeah, I mean, DC is just, it's super walkable. It's a very active city. Even outside of quarantine, you always see people running around the mall, like the National Mall area, and riding their bikes and riding the scooters. So it's easy transition, you know what I'm saying? If you want to be active, it's so many things to get into here. And it's just a beautiful city. Like, you know what I mean? There's so many monuments and landmarks here that you can go see. There's lots of hiking trails, stuff like that around the area. So it's really easy to kind of just be a part of the experience and not become a potato, like I said. But yeah, I love DC. It's a beautiful city. Obviously right now, it's not as beautiful as it normally is, just because a lot of things are boarded up from, there's like some protests and stuff last year. So a lot of the stores they're kind of still boarded up, which kind of sucks. And then, there's like gated, a lot of the monuments, like the Capitol stuff is gated off, which isn't cool just because of, there was like an insurrection, earlier this year, which was not, the greatest experience for anyone. But, you know, seeing the city kind of shut down like that, it's not the greatest, but, you know, you still see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's still a beautiful city. So I love DC a lot.
And I also read that during the inauguration ceremony for Joe Biden, all the citizens in the city were invited to stay home and to watch the event on the television. Is it what you've done?
Yeah, it was really crazy, honestly, because, you know, you live in DC and like this major moment is happening. Like the inauguration is happening in your city. You're, you know, a mile or two away from the Capitol and you literally can't go see it. Like, you know what I mean? Like in a normal year, you would be able to, but just because of the events that had happened previously and because of COVID, they wanted to kind of keep the crowds down. It was just nuts to me that I'm watching on TV this outdoor event that I should be at, but I can't just because of everything that's going on. Like, it's pretty nuts. I mean, watching it on TV and I'm literally a mile and a half, 2 miles away. So it was really crazy. But I think, you know, it was obviously for the best. You want to keep everyone safe and, try to keep down the COVID numbers. So I don't mind doing it if it's helping the greater good.
And I assume, Tramel Raggs, that from your windows, you can hear some noises, some music, some sounds from the ceremony.
Yeah. I live about, 2-3 miles away. So I could hear like the fireworks they had at night. Like they had some concerts. I could hear that from my house. It's just so weird. Like it's like literally I could be there, but I can't. But I could still hear a lot of the things going on. Like, and just walking around that night, like of the, inauguration, me and my buddy, like I said, we went for a long walk and the fireworks were honestly so loud. I thought it was like World War III was going on, honestly. I didn't know they were going to have the fireworks situation because there's no one there. So, but yeah, I just, you know, walking around, you hear all these booms. It was nuts, like just to hear the music. And, you know, for that night, it kind of felt, I guess you say a little bit normal. Like it was kind of cool to just, you know, be around the city. People were obviously very excited about, the new president taking over. And, yeah, it was just a cool moment, I think, even though we didn't get to go see it in person.
And besides politics, I feel that one of your biggest goals is to become an NBA owner.
I'm not sure. You know, it's not something I really thought about. You know, I really love journalism, and I love telling people stories. I love doing interviews like this. Like usually I'm on the other side of it, so it's kind of weird to, I guess, be being interviewed right now. But, you know, I just love talking to these players and kind of seeing, I guess, what's going on outside of basketball. Because I think a lot of times, you know, we forget that these basketball players and that these football players and these athletes in general are just, that they're normal people at the end of the day. Like, obviously they're wearing a jersey and they're getting paid, money that we could only dream of to do a game that we love. But at the end of the day, they still have problems. Like, they still have family issues. They still have, you know, different things going on in their lives. And I love to explore that side of it. Like, you know, how did you become this? You know, not just you know, I see you scoring touchdowns or hitting 3-pointers on the court. You know, how did you become this man, and how do you dealing with the pressures that come with it? Because obviously when you get, you know, these large amounts of money, you know, people are they want things from you. And when you become a celebrity, you kind of become an entity more than a person. People look at you as you're an investment. You know, you need to go out there and do this. And it's so many people that are pulling at you different ways. I like to explore that. So, you know, just for me, I just love the opportunity to just get to know these players and hopefully build that trust level with them where they feel comfortable and trust me to tell their story and that I can tell it the proper way. So that's something that I really love. You know, being an NBA owner obviously would be amazing just because I love the basketball so much. But really, I just want to be a journalist that tells great stories.
I believe that from my point of view, this is very difficult to visualize the work that you are doing because you just mentioned it. You are talking to the players face to face. You are maybe going to the press conferences before the matches and after the matches, and also doing other very interesting and crazy things.
Yeah, you know, and that's kind of where the COVID thing kind of comes into play. I think especially for me, it's been tough just because, right before COVID, I felt like I was really finding my footing as a journalist. I was really, I was coming up on my 2-year anniversary back then, and I was really finding my voice. I felt like at the paper, and just kind of figuring out what stories I was good at telling and kind of working out some of my weaknesses. And then kind of COVID started, and obviously all the sports shut down, which was tough. But it's just been a great learning experience for me. It's just kind of learning the ways to kind of just get better. I think every day, in COVID, the opportunities are limited. So you have to really, find ways to be creative. Like I started an Instagram interview series with a lot of athletes and coaches, and that's been really fun to kind of just get better at being on camera and talking to people and just finding different ways to create content. Like it doesn't have to be all writing. It doesn't have to be all video. It's going to be a combination of both. Like you can learn, and just adapt. And I think that's been the best part for me, in COVID. And I think that, I miss the fan interaction. I think there's nothing better than going to a stadium full of fans and watching a great basketball game or a great football game. I think it's really underrated part of sports. Obviously the athletes doing their thing is awesome, and, it's great to watch them accomplish these amazing feats, but the fans being in the stadium and, all that stuff, it creates a certain, aura around the arena and around the game. And it kind of creates importance. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know that two teams are rivals really, unless there's that fan aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Like you have the Lakers and Boston, like their fans hate each other, and you can feel that when you watch them play, like when the crowd is kind of willing them to a win or trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the things that the fans, that power that they have, it's been understated. And I think that during COVID, since we haven't been able to have fans, it's really shown, that power that they have. And I can't wait to get back to, fans being in the stands and just, that part of it. It just makes your story better that you're writing, makes the experience of watching a game better. It's just, all of it. It's just, you don't realize how important it is or how much you miss it until it's gone. And, that's been a great experience.
So if I understood correctly, Tramel Raggs, you means that the audience is part of the games, and for example, they can upload, encourage all their favorite players on the field.
Yeah. The fans are they're huge. Like, like if your team is down, let's say you're the Lakers, let's say your team is losing, you're down by 10 points, 15 points, the fans, they can kind of get behind you and give you that extra boost, and they can kind of help you get to where you're going. Like there's nothing better than, especially like in college sports, if it's an upset, you see like a team that's an underdog and the fans are just willing them to win. They're playing a big game and they're just helping them get to the finish line. And you hear players talk about all the time, like the fans really were pushing us. Like we were tired, we had nothing left, and they kind of pushed us across the finish line. They just having that extra boost, that, that sixth man, that, 12th man, if it's football, just having that extra person in your corner that you can hear. That there's nothing better than that. And this, it's something that I can't put enough emphasis on the importance of fans and just the role that they play, in sports.
Excuse me, Tramel, but at this point, with the Lakers, I'm asking for the VAR.
You need to review the Lakers footage, huh?
Exactly.
Do you have a favorite team? Are you an NBA fan?
I'm not watching basketball that much.
Okay.
But that leads me to another point. I watched the basketball during the Olympics. Mm-hmm. And you like video games. So do you believe that video games should be included in this competition?
Honestly, I think there's a place for it. I think competition isn't just solely for, I guess physical competitions. I think, I've covered some NBA 2K League. I've covered some of their games and stuff like that. 'Cause there's a team in DC and they actually won the championship this year. So I had an opportunity to kind of cover those guys and just talk to them. And I mean, they're athletes too. It's like, I think that we have to redefine, what it means to be an athlete, and those guys are doing that. And, you see, it takes a lot of, practice and stuff like that. It's not like you pick up a controller and you're just good and you go out and compete. Like these guys are practicing for, 10, 15 hours a day, their craft, every day they're learning, they're watching basketball, they're watching film, they're finding ways to get better at the game. And there's a lot of game playing that goes into it. So I would love to see that, in the Olympics. I think there's a place for it. And I think it grows the game and it helps people there's a good, having an outlet for your competitive spirit is great. And I think that if you can, come up with a league, whether it's video games or it's a physical competition a more traditional physical competition like basketball, whatever, having an opportunity to kind of, use that energy and I guess compete against others is something I'm always gonna support.
And now, in addition to be an NBA owner, Tramel Raggs, you are going to win gold medals in NBA 2K on the PS5.
I hope so. I'm getting pretty good now. I've had a lot of practice and a lot of time to put into it during quarantine. So hopefully, yeah, maybe one day I can be a professional 2K player as well.
I enjoyed talking to you, Tramel Raggs. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man, for having me on. I appreciate it. I've seen some of your interviews and you're doing a great job, man. So keep it up.